Kansas Senator Roger Marshall. Good morning, Senator. So, I mean, what do you make of all these trade deals? I mean, they got done just in the nick of time, some that didn't, and some that are still sitting out there. Looks like India needs to do something about its Russian energy.
Yeah, well, Mark, first of all, that interview with President Trump and Rob is just going to be must-see TV, and I can't wait for that myself. Is it, what did you say, 8 p.m. Eastern?
Yes, 8 p.m.
Tonight.
8 p.m. So back to trade. I'm going to focus on the positive here. President Trump has negotiated trade agreements with 8 of our top 10 trade partners. The only ones really setting outside of the majority of the trade between us would be Taiwan and India, as you pointed out here. China is due August the 12th. I want you just to think about how President Trump is boxing in China here. You know, he's done the UK, the European Union, jump over to Cambodia, Thailand, Vietnam, the Philippines, Indonesia, South Korea, Japan, Australia. So he's boxing in China now. August the 12th, by August the 12th, we're gonna have a great deal done. Look, most everything that's grown in Kansas is still flowing freely to Canada and to Mexico, exception of milk, with the exception of milk type of products as well, and vice versa. And we'll renegotiate USMCA in a year. So I think everything is right on schedule, right on Trump time.
So I want to get to this because during a hearing yesterday, a federal appeals court seemed inclined to block President Trump from imposing these tariffs, saying no president can do it without Congress. So this would severely impair all president's ability to protect American jobs and drive foreign policy changes. Could you see Congress giving presidents this power if the court rules against President Trump?
Well, first of all, these lower courts are way out of bounds. They're going way beyond their jurisdiction. I think the Supreme Court has said that over and over again. They'll have to appeal this. It's too bad they're slowing up the Trump agenda, right? That's what these courts are doing. They're slowing the Trump agenda, slowing the will of the 78 million people who elected President Trump. Look, certainly the talks, I'm on the subcommittee on trade, on the finance committee, working with our chairman Crapo and the subcommittee chairman Senator Cornyn as well. Some type of a trade agreements with these countries to make them long-lasting. You know, what's going to happen when President Trump is done here in 3 years?
Yeah.
So we need to put some teeth to these agreements as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to switch gears a bit here, Senator. So the administration reportedly plans to introduce another package of DOGE rescission cuts pretty soon. I know we had your colleague, Senator Johnson, on yesterday. He said he was working with the administration on outlining what those might look like. What do you want to see? Are you talking to the administration as well? What would you like to see proposed cut in this next rescission package?
Well, Mark, that's a target-rich environment there. I want to compliment Senator Joni Ernst, who's leading the DOGE caucus and really has been involved with this since day one. Look, there are hundreds of billions of dollars that they could bring to us. I don't necessarily have a wish list. I really think we go back to U.S. AID. It was $40 billion in there. We rescinded about $8 billion of that as well. I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but I still think there's some opportunity there. My specialty may be the waste and fraud that's going on in Medicare and Medicaid, so I would probably like to tackle some of that as well.
So lastly, I want to ask you about the executive order that Donald Trump signed yesterday, putting back in the presidential fitness test back into our public schools. I know that was stripped in the Obama era, and as a physician, how important is something like this? We see 1 in 5 kids now are considered obese. I remember this test. I remember doing the mile run, the push-ups, the pull-ups. What do you make of this?
Well, you think about that shuttle run. Do you remember the shuttle run? I think we used erasers we would grab on each end. What are the kids going to use today? I was sitting there wondering that. But President Eisenhower started this back in 1954. Kansas's favorite son, Dwight David Eisenhower, 34th President of the United States. So he started this program. Look, 20% of our children are on a prescription drug. 40% of them have some type of chronic illness. Leading the way is obesity, prediabetes, and a mental health condition. Look, as a physician, I'm telling you the prescription for that is a healthy, nutritious diet that includes whole milk, throw away the processed food, and then activity, some type of activity. This will give the kids something to shoot for. I know that my children, when they still had this going on, when we were children, it gave us a goal to shoot for. It was called competition. That's what America is bred upon. That's the secret to our capitalism, is more competition. So I couldn't be happier. I think it's another step in the right direction. Throw away the social media, what the kids on their phones, throw that away, get outside, go fishing, go hunting. Let's all prepare together. Matter of fact, I may introduce some type of a physical fitness challenge for Congress up here.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.